I have some questions for the DMV. First of all, are they a government entity, agent, um, or are they a private corporation? Is the government a private corporation for that matter? And I noticed when I'm trying to apply for a driver's license, and apply is, from what I understand in law, means to beg someone for something. Um, I noticed there's a box that you check that, uh, and you don't have the option of not agreeing to this. That when you have a license, that if they pull you over or whatever, that you just automatically agree to submit to a drug test or a breath test or whatever. Um, and Also, if you don't get a driver's license and you just exercise your right of way, your God given right, your inherent rights to travel, go from point A to point B, not harming anyone, not committing any crimes, um, and you're keeping your equipment, I don't even want to call it equipment, your mode of conveyance, your carriage, if you're keeping it in good working order, you're not putting anyone in danger, you're not negligent, you're being responsible for yourself. And but it's my understanding that if you're doing all of those things and just peacefully going about your way, doing no harm, uh, not negligent, being responsible, that they will force you to contract with them, which I do believe is fraud, to force somebody to contract with them, um, to have a license. And license, by definition, in law, in legal dictionary, and in law codes and legislation, a license is permission to do that which otherwise would be a crime. And to make yourself legal, or to make anything legal, is to say that it is first illegal, to declare it a crime, declare that it's illegal, and then legalize it. So legal would literally mean illegal. What am I missing here? Am I missing something? Another question I would have for the DMV and the government is the all capital letters of your name and information on these licenses and identifications and birth certificates and social security cards and all of these numbers that they associate with you, um, which are allegedly consensual. But how are they consensual if you don't agree with them? Say you have a it's against your faith to contract with corporations. Um, but anyway, the all capital letter name is, according to like all writing manuals, style manuals, like the Chicago Styles Manual, which is one that they use in courts and in writing and in writing documents and legal documents and so on and so forth, or just everyday writing, creative writing, any kind of writing. The Chicago Styles Manual states that all capital letters denotes a fiction. That's all that it is. It doesn't denote a living being or breathing blood and flesh being. It only denotes a fictional doing business as interface fiction. It's a fairy tale. It's not real. Um, And so you're forced to get this license, then you're forced to agree to those terms, which is a forced contract to be to act as in the capacity of a legal, illegal, criminal, fiction, fairy tale. I mean, I don't know how else you can spin that. But if you don't comply with them in the free world, in this free American country, um, if you don't comply with that, they will force you to. If you want to get behind the wheel of your own private automobile, car, truck, motorhome, whatever it is, your own private property, and they will claim that they have an interest in that because they can take it away from you if you're not complying with their fiction and agree to be their fiction. Does that any of that make any sense to anyone? Does anybody really understand any of that? I certainly don't stand under that. I don't stand upon that. I don't stand under it. I would stand over that. I override that and overstand it as a non consensual to be governed. I don't consent to be governed. I don't consent to be a fiction. I don't consent to people forcing me to pay them to identify myself to anybody. I have the right to travel. I have the right to be anonymous because I'm not committing any crimes. I'm not negligent. I'm not irresponsible. Therefore, it's nobody's business who I am or what I'm doing, regardless of what they imagine I'm doing, or regardless of what they've been brainwashed with. Uh, guys running around there with guns and tasers and badges and billy clubs and forcing people to be a fiction, all capital business interface, and subject to their tyranny, assault, injury, put you in a cage, force your blood and urine and breath out of you, intimidate you, coerce you to comply with them under threat and by force. I want to know, how is any of that lawful? How is any of that not a deception? How is there any contract by force? Because none of that is fully disclosed to anyone. It's not even understood by the people forcing you to contract with them. They don't disclose that the all capital name is a fictional entity, um, and that's the only name that they can bring into their fictional courts. They only deal with fictional entities. They have to have that all capital fiction being to interface with. And they force you to have that. They force you to. And so that's where I'm at now, after 18 years of being completely rescinding all of those fictional numbers and names and constructs and putting everybody on notice in government and fictional government entities. Um, I'm at a point now where they have injured me and forced me to where I can't support myself the way I normally do, just voluntarily, for free, you know? And that's how I've lived for the better part of 2 decades, and really most of my life, 68 years. And now I am literally forced